You're listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast. My name's Andrew Mackay-Smith. The interview subject I've got coming up for you, the one that you've tuned in to hear, well, that's Chrigel Glanzman from the Swiss folk metal outfit Eluveitie. The reason for the conversation? Well, that's to discuss their 2017 release, Evocation II, Pantheon. Let's have a listen to what he has to say then. Here we go.
First up, I'm just laughing because of the dogs in the background. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I try to walk away a little bit.
No, it's no problem.
I live in a very countryside, and there's probably more horses and, by far more dogs in this village than people. So, but yeah, I'm walking away somewhat. So
no, that's all right, mate.
Dogs
No
are
worries.
not disturbing.
That's all right. I've got an English bull terrier at home that, believe me, would bark the house down if I gave him the opportunity.
Very good.
So, mate, look, I'm going to offer you a heartfelt congratulations on the new record, Evocation II, Pantheon. Now, I have had a listen to an advanced copy, and wow, mate, it is freaking epic. But I will ask you this question. How do you think fans are going to react?
I have absolutely no idea. But I hope they will like it. But, this is something you actually never know when releasing an album.
Yeah.
It's like even after 15 years now, it's still, each album is a surprise. You have no idea how it will be received. But yeah, that's also like the thrilling part about it. Well, one of the many thrilling parts.
Yeah, I suppose, look, as I mentioned before the interview proper got underway, I do speak to a lot of artists, and it's kind of like rearing a child in a way, isn't it? Then sending the child away to school in some ways and just hoping that it is received well by its peers and all the rest of it. But I think I can say for certain, mate, that the album is an accomplishment. And the reason I feel it's an accomplishment is because, look, and if you don't mind me mentioning this fairly early on in the interview, I'll get this part of it out of the way, but it doesn't feature Anna, Ivo, or Merlin, who are now, of course, doing their thing in Cellar Darling. But can you share how you recruited new band members and what your approach was to integrating them into the band setup?
Yeah, sure, I can. But actually, there wasn't much of that. The whole thing really developed totally different than we thought it would. And you mentioned the split with Anna, Ivo, and Merlin nearly 1.5 years ago. And looking back, I'm pretty happy with how things developed. Back then, of course, it was hard. It was tough on a personal and emotional level because, we've been together for nearly 10 years and, a decision like that isn't made easy and it's like something tough to handle for everybody involved. And it was also like hard for, as musicians, as a band. And so, but there's one thing, we talked a lot back then, especially I and Anna, but actually everybody, we talked a lot.
Yeah.
And one thing we totally agreed on is that as tough as things like that might be, they can also mean a chance if you use them as a chance. And we all decided to go on and try that, to use it as a chance. And now, after this all this time, and last year has been a tough year and everything, but now looking back, I can honestly say, and I'm also like a little bit proud of that I think we all really succeeded in doing that and in using it as a chance and making something good out of it. And I think like how things developed and what rose out of it is actually really something good. It was really good for Anna, Ivo, and Merlin, and it's amazing what arose out of that. And I'm super happy, to see how Anna, she really blossomed in creativity and everything. Mm-hmm. And I think that Cellar Darling is, they just released their album. I don't know if you've heard it or not, but it's amazing. Great. I think, and and it's also amazing, like what it did with Eluveitie, and it's like, but yeah, like regarding the new members, it was kind of unexpected because, when the three left us in March last year, we all were sure about that we really want to search well and choose carefully, and that we really want to take as much time as it needs to find the right people. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we had the crux that we already had like shitloads of festival shows and tours and everything confirmed at that time already, so we actually didn't have time.
Yes.
And we also were sure about the fact that we are not going to cancel one single show because of that. Because it's not the fans' problem that we have a lineup change or something. They just bought a concert ticket and want to see the show of their lives, and that's what they're gonna get. So because of that, we quickly decided to just hire like live session musicians to play all the upcoming festivals and shows, and to use that time to search for permanent members. And that's what we did. That's how we met the guys that actually are in the band now. And we didn't know them, but they got just recommended by several people to us. They all actually have the reputation for being among the very best on their instruments in Switzerland, at least. And so they just got recommended, and we contacted them, and they were all available, so all good. And musically speaking, it actually was amazing. I mean, all of them, they did an incredible job, because they were really thrown into the ice cold water. They were not familiar with anything we do, but the shows really rocked. And the show by show, like with every show, it rocked more, and it was like really amazing how they gave into the band. And like just musically speaking, it was like winning the jackpot with those guys.
Yes. Okay.
That's then the unexpected part, how things turned out, because we just played the shows and it was really good, but and we just kept on looking for new band members, but it was like the rather personal aspects, like how this developed in these months in summer last year.
Yep.
It was just like amazing, like the vibe within the band really changed and developed in a very amazing way, actually. And we as a whole group like developed, like, just how do you say, like feeling wise.
Yes, and, I think I understand
in a very very good way, and also like interpersonal relationships and everything just developed in a really really amazing way, and everything just felt so good and right. And so at some point in fall last year, we just asked ourselves that like, why the fuck we're still looking for new band members if actually we already found them months ago. We just didn't really see that coming. It didn't work anything like we thought it would, but that's how it developed. And in that sense, that was like a really fortunate thing to happen, and like a really fortunate development. And that's like how we got our new lineup, actually.
No, good on you, mate. And I'm going to offer yourself and Anna a sincere compliment here. I think you both have written the book on how to handle a split within a band perfectly. Now, what I mean by that is I have had a chat to Anna about things, the split and all the rest of it. I spoke to her a few weeks back, and she didn't have a bad word to say. And I'll draw a comparison now, because I feel the departure of Anna and the musicians around her has led to two excellent folk-inspired metal bands, in much the same way that Dave Mustaine's departure from Metallica led to two epic thrash bands in Metallica and Megadeth. So I can only think that we're all better off for the fact that, you've both approached this maturely, with integrity. I haven't read, and believe me, I've done my research, I haven't read a single thing on the internet that either of you have said about each other, because there isn't anything there to say about each other. You both respect each other, and it just was time to fork in the road.
I mean, and that's also a thing you wouldn't do, honestly. I think that's also like a kind of a matter of decent education or something like that. but and like, I mean, we're in touch. Like I write with the guys every now and then, especially with Anna. And like actually we've even been to studio together, because we're both recorded in the same studio.
Mate. Cool. Yeah, that's
fantastic. And they just finished the recording when when we came in, and they were late with everything, so we actually gave them our first booked recording day, so they could finish their album mix like with at least some few hours and some fresh ears and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there is nothing bad to say about each other.
So from the interviews, certainly even talking to you now, and from the interviews that I've seen of you on YouTube, you come across as a very relaxed bloke who takes things in his stride. So, mate, what's your secret to remaining chilled?
What? Sorry, can you say the last sentence again? I didn't. Acoustically.
Yeah, right. What's your secret to remaining relaxed or chilled?
Okay, I don't know if I'm relaxed or chilled, honestly, but yeah, I mean, it's all just normal, and we are just people, and
yeah, that's such a good point, because we are all people.
I
mate.
think
that's a great point.
I think something that usually makes people nervous is taking yourself too serious and too important. I think that's not a good thing, because you are. I mean, none of us is like really important that much, and so yeah.
No, that's cool. All right, look, just in the interest of time, I'm aware I've got to let you get off to your next interview rather shortly, but I do have 3 questions that I do ask all of my interview subjects, so do humour me here, mate, and answer these questions here. And, of course, your answers can be as not safe for work as you like, because I do host an R-rated program. So here goes. All right, so you ready?
Sure.
Chrigel, describe yourself in 3 words.
In 3 words, huh? Shit, that's not hard. That's not that easy.
It's not easy.
Jobby elderly man.
There you go. All right. Okay, my next question is this. If you could go back to when you were 18 years of age, what advice do you think you'd give yourself?
Exactly what I did.
Okay, all right. So you're saying you wouldn't change anything, just
no,
believe in yourself. No, good on you, mate. That, believe it or not, is the most common response to that question that I receive. Okay,
I believe that.
Yeah. I mean, you get all manner of responses to that, and everybody's stands within their own truth in their answer a question like that. But, mate, that is by far and away the most common one. But look, I'll digress and move on just in the interest of time. And my final question is, if you could invite 5 guests, living or dead, from any time in history to dinner, who would you invite?
That's amazing. Okay, I would definitely invite Vercingetorix, which was a Helvetic, how do you say, like a revolution leader or something like that.
Yep.
Then I would definitely invite Divico, which was a Helvetic chieftain. I would probably invite Boudica, which was a couple of hundreds of years later, a Celtic queen.
Gosh, okay.
And then there's 2 left.
2 left, yep.
I would also probably invite Paddy Keenan, who is still alive today, around in his 70s, like probably the best or one of the best uilleann pipe players on the world.
Okay.
So he's one of my huge idols.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I would also invite my girl, because she just needs to be there all the time.
Well, that might be the most unique response to that question that I've ever had. So thank you, mate. Yeah, okay. I'm going to do a bit of research after I listen back to the interview, actually, and find out who these people are now. And I think the listeners will do the same thing.
Yeah, if you want, I can text you the names, because the pronunciation of the names is probably not like you would write them.
Yeah, if you can send them to me, that'd be great, because then I can put them in the social media uploads that I do for the podcast.
Sure, I definitely will do.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's really it from me. I guess I've got time for one more question, if that's okay, before you need to get your next one. But what's your relationship been like with Australian fans and listeners over the years?
Sorry, can you say it again?
What's your relationship been like with Australian fans and listeners over the years?
It's been amazing. I mean, we haven't been to Australia that often, unfortunately. But yeah, on one hand, I personally just love the country. I think it's beautiful, and also the vibe of the Australian, let's say, society is seems to be very cool and laid back. That was pretty amazing.
Yep.
But also the way we got received by the Australian fans was amazing. And yeah, we're actually working on coming back as soon as possible because we really want to.
Fantastic, mate. Well, on that note, I'll wrap things up. You're a fantastic bloke. I really appreciate the candour in which you've answered my earlier questions about the split within the band. I love the new record, by the way. I plan to purchase it on vinyl. I don't know what else I can say, mate. You're an excellent bloke. You're a great musician. You're at the centre of an awesome band. Mate, I hope you guys come down to Australia because I'll certainly be in the crowd, and I'd definitely love to share a beer with you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. Don't know what to say to that. Oh my God. But yeah, thank you so much. And thanks a lot for the interview, of course.
No worries, mate. All right. Well, hopefully I'll get to chat to you sometime in the near future.
Sure. Definitely will.
All right. Thanks, mate. All
the
right.
Best. So have a wonderful evening and take care.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
You've been listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith, and that conversation featured Chrigel Glanzman from the Swiss folk metal outfit Eluveitie. Thanks so much for listening.